you guys will be getting in-person Briar because of what won the poll, which is so interesting. I'm gonna be honest, I only put making alt accessories on there as a joke, but I also believe in democracy, and it won the poll. So we will be making alt accessories, starting off with pins. Yeah. So anyways, you're gonna take some metal caps and paint them with designs of your choice. The first one I'm doing is a trans flag. By the way, you could probably use like plastic caps. You probably could, but I feel like don't unpause. I feel like it would like break a lot more easily than using metal. I personally only use metal. That's like my whole spiel. So I'm doing a trans flag on one of the wine bottles. I'm doing a gay flag on one of the other wine bottles, or the caps, and I tried to turn the Starbucks lid and the herb jar lid, it came from like the top of like a seasoning jar basically, into pronoun pins. The Starbucks one got like stepped on by my mother. She was not happy about that, because she stepped on a thing and got paint on the floor. So to put them in like a separate place to dry where they're not going to get damaged. Learn from my mistakes. But you're going to paint them, and it could be whatever design that you want. Also, make sure that your jar lid thing is clean before you decide to use it on making pins. It will be much easier to clean it before you paint than after you paint. Because if you wash too hard, the paint might fall off. And like, be very careful with these pins, okay? Don't roughhouse with them. Don't pull on them. They can break. They can break. This is just how I make pins. If you don't like how I make pins, there are other ways you can make them online. With like actual bottle caps that don't come from wine or coffee jars or like the lids of herbs. But I never buy Coke out of the glass jars. Mostly because I don't really like fizzy drinks as much as the average person. I mean, I still like them, but like, you know, I very rarely do I have a hankering for soda. You know what I mean? I mean sometimes, but not often. So anyways, make sure you wash them and just like, keep in mind these are not the only way that you can make pins. This is just how I make pins because I don't drink soda out of glass jars. Do you know how hard it is to find soda in glass jars? Like, they don't sell them anywhere. You have to go to like, there's one specific gas station in my... So we have a trans flag and an MLM flag and a huge mess. I'm going to go get a fresh plate. And then we can go, and I will do the other two. Okay, for the next part of this, you're gonna take your make sure the paint is dry before you do this. You are going to take it, flip it upside down, and hot glue safety pins to the back so that the safety pin, like the pokey part, is facing up. And if you are doing this, use a hot glue gun, okay? I do have a hot glue gun. It's my mother's hot glue gun. And she was away and I couldn't find it. But I could find the glue sticks and a lighter. So that's what I did. Do not do this. This is a fire hazard. Do not try this at home. But basically that's what you're gonna do. And you're gonna want to be very, very careful to not glue it so thickly that it can't open or close, because the opening and closing part is very important for pins because you can get them on and get them off. Yeah, but basically that's how you do it. I think maybe for the next episode I might do patches, probably either patches or leg warmers. But if I do the leg warmers one, I'm basically just gonna be teaching all how to knit. and I'm not very good at knitting. Well, I am, but I can't knit in the round. So yeah, basically I want to turn this into a series, basically. So let me know if you want me to turn this into a series. I don't know how to make that many accessories, but I know how to make enough to where I know how to make more, if that makes sense. Also, keep in mind what you're gonna be putting these pins on. I'm gonna be putting them on my messenger bag and not my jacket, because I think my jacket got ruined, because my cat pissed on it. But keep in mind what you're putting this on when gluing it down. Obviously use more glue if you think that you're gonna need it. But, if you're gonna be running around with your pins on, make sure it's secure, basically. Make sure your pin is secure and make sure that it's not going to fall out, essentially. Just fuck around with it a little bit before you go out with it to make sure, like, quality check. Make sure that it doesn't fall off. Okay. If you're using, like, a bottle cap that's got a short enough rim, I would suggest gluing it in the middle as well as, like, on the rim as well. However, I did not do this because I'm using wine caps and, like, the caps of, like, an herb jar, basically. And I knew, basically, if I were to do that, I would use my entire glue stick. And I'm already doing this without my mother's permission and creating a fire hazard for myself. So I kind of just wanted to get it over with. I wanted to, like, be done a little bit. Well, not entirely, but I did this after attempting to make a Therian mask. So, like, I was already not having a good time, and, like, I was ready to be done, and I didn't want to use that much glue. But if you're using a cap or something with a small enough lid, I would suggest gluing it in the middle as well. Or at least, maybe you could do, the way that you're supposed to make them is by using a little, like, pull tab. I might put up a diagram. So maybe you could do that and reinforce it with glue. I'm not really sure. I've never made it like that because I don't buy bottle caps. Also, I know that beer has a similar bottle cap situation. I don't drink beer either. I'm a minor. And even if I wasn't a minor, wouldn't be drinking beer. I don't drink alcohol, and I will never drink alcohol. Anyways, decided it would be fun to model the pins on my messenger bag. I only really use it whenever I'm gonna be drawing in public, or outside, like a third location that isn't school or home. Let's see, look. Got he, him, which aren't really my pronouns, but I'm not gonna bring a neo pronoun pin into public. I'm not that self-confident. Got my little trans, my little emblem, and this one that I made. I think it's beautiful. Yippee! Anyways, bye!